debating on the motion that this House believes that liberal democracies should financially incentivize parents to raise their children in a secular environment. We'd like to welcome the Honorable Prime Minister to open the debate.
Hello, hello. What a pleasure it is to open today's grand final. The first Ateneo IV, the Idol Squad won. I think it's time to bring it back to where it belongs. There are two values that we want to protect in today's debate, and these are values that liberal democracies try to balance. The first is the religious freedom of parents to exercise their religion and to make decisions on behalf of their children. But another value that we think is equally important is the religious freedom of the child to not be coerced into any particular religion. Those are the two values that we want to protect in today's debate. And we think our model is a model that will sufficiently strike a balance between those two values. So our policy is simple. We will give monetary incentives to families that basically encourage their children, raise their children in a secular environment. These include, but are not limited to, giving subsidies, for example, if they don't send their kids to religious schools, but send them to secular schools instead. If they have enough money, we will pay them to not bring their kids with them to church, and things like that. We think that we're not going to limit these mechanisms, but generally the principle is that. I have three things I want to talk to you about in today's debate. First, I'm going to talk about how the state has a strong interest to do this. Secondly, we'll talk about why incentivizing them is better than banning these individuals from doing that. And finally, we'll ground this and talk about the development of the child and why we think children develop better in secular rather than a religious environment. But before I go on, Kim.
Sir, secular public schools are already cheaper than religious schools. What is the point of that?
We will make them even more cheaper and more attractive. We don't think that's an incentive that we study. First of all, let's talk about why states have an interest to do this. And this is grounded in the idea that in order to best exercise the freedom of religion, people have to have the free choice and people should freely choose to be a participant in that religion and not coerced in that religion. We think it's more legitimate and more meaningful if a participant fully consents to be part of a religion. That is because religion is central to a person's identity and to a person's selfhood, right? So in order for these individuals to fully participate and to fully think that religion is meaningful to their spirituality, they have to have the ability to assess beliefs, they have to have the ability to determine which religions are best suited for them. There are four reasons why we think that if you raise a child in a secular environment or in a religious environment, you tend to coerce the child into those religions. The first reason is that children are raised to respect authority figures. This is primarily what parents do, what schools do, what states do. And if you raise a child in a secular environment, you basically tell them that religious figures are authority figures and that they should follow them. This is very hard to contradict later on in life. Because even when you're old, for example, you still respect your parents to some extent. And this belief gets entrenched even more because we train children to respect authority figures. Second reason why we think it's highly coercive is because of the peer pressure to conform. If you send your children to religious schools, for example, you basically have a pressure to conform to your peers, especially if everyone believes in the same beliefs that you do. You don't want to be the only atheist that gets called out by a teacher or by your friends, and basically that creates strong social pressures and basic peer pressure for these people to be stuck in that religion. Thirdly, we think religions get reinforced over time as well and are self-perpetuating. If you pass on religions to your children, we think that what happens is you tie your religion to your family identity, right? That your grandmother was Jewish, your great-grandmother was Jewish, and basically our family is Jewish. That's a very hard thing to basically negate later on in life, especially if you tie religions to your family identity. The fourth and final reason why we think it's coercive is because children by nature, have a very poor capacity to reflect and interrogate beliefs. Children, the state recognizes, are impressionable. That's why we shield them from things like violence, like gore, because basically they are sponges that can absorb a lot of doctrines and a lot of beliefs without having the ability to interrogate them. And they don't have the ability to interrogate them because they lack lived experience to decide which beliefs are more appropriate to me than not. And we think that because these families, these parents, these teachers tell them what appropriate beliefs are, they tend to believe them more, and they don't have the ability to basically determine which one is better suited for them. That's why we think that when you raise a child in a religious environment, it tends to be coercive because of all the reasons I said. And those things don't happen if you make a decision on what religion is better for you if you are an adult, because you can think for yourself, you can assess beliefs, you can assess which religions are more suitable for your life and for your lived experience. Which leads me to my second point. Why do you want to financially incentivize them and not ban? First of all, we think it's hypocritical if we were to say here that even if you recognize that there are harms, that banning is a solution, because obviously you don't want to fight coercion with coercion. States necessarily also recognize the freedom of individuals to choose. But states can set agenda. The parallel example for this is financial penalties for things like sin taxes, for example. We tax cigarettes. We financially disincentivize people from consuming bad things, even though we know the harms are present, because we recognize the freedom, but we also recognize the ability of the state to encourage certain behaviors. This policy is the best way to balance that. We recognize the harms exist, but we also don't think that if we want to fight coercion by parents, the state should be coercive as well. It undermines the message, and it's highly, highly hypocritical. But finally, and more importantly, let's talk about children, or the development of children. First of all, religious instruction is not suitable for everyone. If you are a gay person living in a conservative family, the worst thing for you to do is to be sent to a religious instruction, or to be sent to a religious school. We think that the state should counter that and should counter oppression by making it more attractive for parents to not send their children to these religious schools. The money we'll give them, and the money will necessarily they can save, is enough of an attraction for these families to not send these people to these schools. But secondly, we think exposure to different communities and cultures are also good for children. We don't want children to be exclusively raised in a religious setting. It's good for democracy if people grow up being exposed to different cultures, to different communities, if they grow up with friends from a different race, from a different religion, because that's how you build civic engagement and social cohesion. If you grow up with friends from many religions, and basically if you grow up thinking that it's okay to be Muslim, it's okay to be Christian, because my friends are Muslim, my friends are Christian, my friends are atheists, for that matter. So what have we told you from first proposition? First of all, we think that states should not allow, or basically should heavily disincentivize parents to coerce their children into religions. It devalues religions. It's a meaningful participation in religion. And finally, we think for a child's sake, we think it's not okay, it's not good for these people to be coerced into these religious instructions. First proposition stands. Thank you.